I got a TV from my mate the other day, 55-inch TV for £100, which I'm gonna say is like $150.
Yeah,
it's like a Samsung one, and I really hope he doesn't watch this podcast. But it's a smart TV, everything. And I was like, look, I'm trying my best to save money at the moment, and I'm doing pretty well, I think. But this guy, he's called Samuel. Shout out to Samuel. Love Samuel. He was like, Joel, I'm selling my TV. He's like, we're upgrading. I was like, great. That's exciting.
From the 55. Nice.
Like, and I entertained the question. I was like, how much are you selling it for? I was like, I don't need a TV. And he's like, 50-inch TV, Samsung. Did I say 55-inch before? I meant 50.
Oh, okay.
50-inch TV, Samsung, smart TV, everything. And I was like, he's going to say a couple £100, and I don't need it. I'm fine. He said £100, and I was like, bring it tomorrow. I was like, I'll have it. I'll have it. And now I'm debating whether or not I sell it on, or do I keep it for when I move out, hopefully sometime next year. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm in the middle of it.
Okay.
But exciting times. I was driving home. I was like, I don't know what my family are going to think. Me just coming home with a massive TV in the back of my Ford Fiesta. It did look much bigger in the back of my tiny car. I'll tell you that. For free.
It's all about perspective. Yeah.
Welcome back to the SpewnedIt Podcast.
Exactly. But yeah, it was an exciting time.
Nice. All right, let me run something by you. So, went to this wedding last weekend for a good friend of my wife's, and we're at the rehearsal dinner. Okay, and it's a bit crowded, so we kind of get in there. There's not exactly a good spot for us. So we kind of get onto the head of one of these tables. So there's 9 of us at the table, right? There's 3 of us on the end, and then 2, 2, 2, right? 2, 4, 6, 9. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
9. Yep.
So there's essentially like this half of the table, the middle, and then the end, right? And the food is just being served, right? They've got a menu, they've paid for it. It's just they're bringing it out in courses, and
this is the rehearsal.
Rehearsal dinner, yeah. Yep.
So you're just testing it out, okay? So
The water. Good. Yeah, testing the water. So fantastic food, nice atmosphere, good place. Server super friendly. They bring out, what was the first course? Oh my gosh, it was toast, but they called it like honeycomb toast. And then they had some kind of, it was like honey, but it was kind of crispy. Like they had like almost grilled the honey into the toast. And then they had a spread that was like
that sounds
phenomenal. I don't even know what it was. I read it and I still didn't know what it was. Like that's what we're talking here. And
did it have like a fancy name? It had some
kind of fancy name, and I couldn't suss it out. I imagine some kind of like cream cheese-esque, picture that like kind of
nice,
a spread, right? Really good.
Yeah.
And that they set that on the far side of the table. So I can't even reach it. This is because we got 9 people over here, right? So when
struggling.
For example, you grew up in not a small family, right? You're accustomed to having several folks around the table. When you have a dish that you've served yourself out of, what do you then do with that dish? What would you do? You've got the bread.
So I've got the dish in front of me.
You've grabbed a piece. What do you do?
I'm taking it.
What's the next step?
Well, either
it's not a trick question.
I'll eat it, or I'll pass it on.
Pass it on. Right?
Pass it on. Yeah.
You take some and you pass it on because there's 8 other people.
I'm with the vibe now.
There's 6 other people not in your little sector who haven't had any food yet.
Oh my gosh.
What instead happens, they take, and to their credit, they're not taking like all the food. There's still lots of food there. So they're clearly conscious that like, oh, there's more than just me sitting at this table. But they take a piece and they just set it down in front of them. And the biggest problem is that the 2 people in the middle are engaged in the deepest conversation of their life, and they're not touching any food. No. So they can't even be bothered. They're like, not hungry. I'm good.
So
meanwhile, I'm over here
finished
with B and this other gal, and we have nothing because all the food has been brought to these people who don't want to pass it on, and these people who couldn't be bothered to even recognize that there's food and we're at a restaurant.
No.
And I've been traveling. I got up at 2 a.m. in the morning to go to the airport, catch a flight at 5, and we came flight, layover, flight, drive straight to this rehearsal. So I've had like a packet of graham crackers from the first flight and a packet of like Cheez-Its from the second one.
That's not going to do it.
No, that's it.
That's not going to cut it.
So I'm starving.
What?
And I'm like, this is great. We've got free food, but no, I can't get the food. So then I'm like, and I'm on the far end too. So I don't want to be like, and I don't know any of these people. So I don't want to be like, hey, food, please.
You can't just
so
can't just dive in and just be like, oh,
yeah. So
no.
I like nudge being like, hey, can you ask him to like pass that over? So finally we get some. It's amazing. It's so good.
Of course.
And then the next course comes out. Same thing happens. We've got like salad.
Way.
We got a house salad, and thank the Lord, they bring the Caesar salad to our side. So we take a bit of Caesar salad. I love a Caesar salad.
Yeah.
We take some Caesar salad. What do we do? We pass it on so everyone else can enjoy it. Apparently, they hated the house salad. They haven't touched it. There's a whole salad over here that they're not passing on, and they're also not eating.
Even after you've passed the Caesar salad over.
After we pass the Caesar salad over. So
That's crazy, bro.
I'm just like, how?
That's crazy.
Like, what household did you grow up in where no one needs to eat food?
Where you're each given your own
where
private
each person is given
you don't need to pass it along.
Yeah.
What?
When it's a bowl of salad or bread. Like, those are the, like, I mean, if you've been dished a plate of soup, you can't exactly pass it on. But, like, it's salad.
But
you know what I mean?
What?
And bread.
That's
ridiculous. You take a piece and you move it along, like
especially for the second course. Like, you'd feel like first course is maybe it's excusable because they may have thought, okay, well, like they'll have food coming to the other side. But the second course, surely your mind will click.
You're
something
like,
needs to happen here.
Look at all those guys over there. There's 6 of them. Maybe I should just like
crazy.
So then
help them out.
After the salad comes the pasta. So good. Oh my gosh, it was a vodka something. I think it has to do with the sauce.
Whoa. Okay.
I've had it before at least once, but it's a red sauce and it was delicious. The noodles were enormous.
I've heard of this.
Yeah,
I've heard of this. Yeah.
And it's, again, what do we get? We actually get the noodles this time. So we've got like the actual food.
Okay.
So I just like, boom, dish it up. I'm like, I'm never going to see this bowl again. Up. It's going over there. It's never coming back. And then they get the chicken. So we like do that. I have to do the thing. Hey, B, can you get that guy to pass me some food, please? So then we get the chicken over here. It's great. All of it's great, except for these people just do not understand. And this happens the whole time. And then finally, mercifully, the dessert is individual portions. So we get like a little gelato thing or something.
Yeah.
So, but I was just like losing my mind because I was like, what?
At that point, you're done.
What is like the social awareness, but like even like adaptability, you know, like if I've
just learn.
Even if I've made that mistake once, twice, thrice, I'm seeing, oh, hey, they're asking every single time. And the salad,
how many courses
I didn't even bother with the salad. There was appetizer, salad, main course, dessert. So 4 total. They went, and the 4th one, they literally couldn't possibly mess up because it was just individual. So they went 0 for 4.
Yeah. Wow.
And
that's mad. That's crazy.
And I watched the servers take away an entire bowl of salad that they didn't touch because they never passed it over to me. I'm like, and they loved the Caesar. They ate that up once it got passed over to them, once it was shared amongst the table. I was like, dude, it was crazy. Later on, I got to know them a little better.
If I ever tried to pull that off, I would have been in trouble. My mom would have slapped me on the back of the head. I was
losing my mind. But anyway, I got to know them. They're all very nice people. We hung out afterwards and stuff like that. And I got a bit better of a picture. But man, that initial, because mostly I had met 3 of them briefly, very briefly. But
you didn't know him. You didn't know him.
No. And that was my impression. I'm like, wow. They are in their own little world. Every single one. It was crazy. Bubble. It was crazy.
That is mad.
Yeah.
Look, if you're at the table and you're taking something from a serving dish, then help a brother out. Pass it down the table.
I don't think any of our listeners would not pass something along. That's the faith I have in you guys, because I think it's basic.
We trust you. We trust you more than that. We trust you more than that. I think Jensen and I could be like we could be in the next house. And you guys would like,
find a way.
Look, you know what? These guys need some food. Yeah. No, honestly, no, I back that. I think that is,
Thank you for letting me get that out. I was holding on to that for a week because I wanted to. Yeah.
No, it's good.
It's like therapy.
I'm trying to think if I've had any kind of like food dilemmas. But I don't think anything to that degree, and I don't know.
Well, I'm glad.
I certainly don't want to try.
I'm glad you haven't had to go through that.
So do you know what I mean? You've saved me.
I'm happy for you.
You've saved me from that.
That's good.
No, gosh, that sounds pretty eventful though. I think like from a slightly more positive, eventful side of things. A couple of weekends ago, I went to this festival that's called Big Church Festival, or BCF for short. Great little time. Basically like a massive, well, I mean, it's kind of in the name, just a massive Christian festival. There's loads of different tents for kind of like worship. There's like a house rave one type tent going on over here. Then there's like the main stage, which is like massive. There were like tens of thousands of people there over the weekend. It was crazy. I think they said it was like, I want to say like mid-30s in terms of like thousands of people. So like 35 odd thousand people, which is crazy.
Stages were going on at the same time?
So a lot of them had something going on throughout the course of the day. So the main stage was popping off. There was this one lady that I got to chat to. She's called DJ Shuns. She's very cool. She opened the stage on the Saturday and the Sunday, which were the two main days of the festival. And then they basically had stuff going on throughout the course of the day and up till pretty late on as well. They probably had stuff going until maybe like 9, 9:30, maybe even 10 if it was like a special set. But yeah, like honestly, crazy stuff. So I did go last year, but last year all I was doing was editing. This year I got to do interviews, and the Saturday was crazy. So I get up super early on the Friday, drive into work, switch my stuff from my car into the work car, go in the work car, go straight there. Takes us about 3.5 hours to get there, which is pretty impressive. We'll have a little stop off for lunch in the middle. We get there on the Friday night. There's like a few little acoustic sets that are going on. So, that's another thing. So we've got like our UCB stage, and that's where I'm doing the interviews and like we're setting up. We've got a cool little vibe going on. And so on the Friday night, they're like, right, Joel, you're gonna be chatting with a few people. There's nothing, there's no real basis to it. Get up there, introduce yourself and the person, and just kind of have a chat with them. They're just gonna kind of play some music to soundtrack the Friday.
And this is like live in front of people. You're like you've got a little audience going on.
Big time.
Nice, man.
So awesome. Friday was very quiet because people were either arriving the Friday night, and so they arrived and were getting set up, or some people were arriving on the Saturday.
Okay.
And so then that meant they'd have to stay one less night. But I mean, if I was going to go, I'd definitely stay on the Friday night, just because it's nice to be able to kind of get your whereabouts kind of thing before the masses show up the next day. So that was really, really nice. That kind of helped like settle nerves while I was going on stage. I was chatting to these one guy called Judah Ball, bless him, like a lovely guy, like a quite a quiet guy. And so like I knew this, I'd spoken to him before, so he needs a bit of encouragement to come out of his shell. And so like we spoke a little bit before, and he said, he was like, Joel, I really appreciate you taking the time just to chat. And I was like, man, it's all right, I've got you, bro. So that was cool. So that was the Friday. On the Saturday, this is when it's the big day. So like the main interview I was looking forward to was with this guy called Limo Blaze. He's a Nigerian artist, and he's basically like the face of Christian Afrobeat and Afro gospel at the moment, right? This guy is popping off. Everything he touches is such high quality. It's brilliant. And so I had one interview before that, but we get there on the Saturday morning. It is a scorcher of a day. It's an absolutely beautiful day. There'd been doubts that like it might rain over the weekend, but the Saturday there was not a sign of a cloud in the sky. It was amazing. So we get there Saturday morning, we're kind of like sorting stuff out. I have my first interview at kind of like, well, I can't remember what time it was. Maybe it was like 11:30. That was with this guy who's part of this dance group called LZ7. He was sick as well. He's very enthusiastic, so I didn't need to do much. I didn't need to like bring the energy for that one because he brought it as well. Obviously, I was already like having a great time. Right, yeah. So we bounced off each other really, really well.
Nice.
So I had that. And again, that kind of just like, I was like, right, I can do this. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to have a great time. And so then my interview with this guy came later on. And this guy, he was like 6.5 foot. Like he's a tall guy. So I'm like looking up. I'm like, yo, Liver Blaze, what's going on? He was absolutely lovely though, very, very genuine. And then in the middle, I think this is probably my highlight. In the middle of it, I'd been talking to a friend of mine about this, and so I was like, look, loads of people use your stuff on Instagram to like for their dances, right? They use your music. I was like, could you teach myself and the audience some dance moves here on the stage? And he's like, say less, let's do it. So we get some music on, and him and I just dancing on the stage. We're having like a great little time. And then we get to the end of it, and I dap him up. I give him a handshake. And it was just that. And my mate, fortunately, she's called Lizzie. She's incredible. She got a photo of that moment.
I think I saw you put that on Instagram.
Face,
That's awesome.
I think you may have seen that.
Yeah.
The joy on my face was just like unmatched. It was a beautiful little moment. Anyway, so like had another interview slightly later on that day, kind of wrapped everything up on the Saturday night. We go back to the hotel. So we weren't staying on site, thank the Lord, because I'm far too much of a princess for that. I'm like, nah, I want to stay in a hotel. So anyway, so we go back to the hotel, like a few people are chatting, and I'm just like, I'm on the water. I have a few glasses of water, go upstairs, shower, bed, ready for the next
Boom.
day.
Yeah, professional.
So then Sunday, and it's like Sunday, this is the day where we weren't too sure. So like there's a few rain clouds and everything. It was okay for the moment, but apparently over the Saturday night, it had been chucking it down. So like, bless them, my white shoes that I took, I had to wash them earlier on today before having this chat, just because they were a mess, and I hadn't had time to wash them until then. But anyways, had a few amazing interviews on the Sunday. There was one that I had to pick up out of nowhere that I didn't even know I was going to do until like kind of 20 minutes, half an hour beforehand. They're like, Joel, you're going to have to do this. I was like, I'm on it. Don't worry about it. Sat outside in the sun and like wrote some questions for him. Went and did that. That was great. I just felt very in control. I felt very at peace.
Nice.
And then so like went through the whole day. That was great. A few more interviews. Wrapped everything up, helped pack up on the on the Sunday evening, and then we drove back. I've got my good mate Carl, who is like one of the chattiest people I've ever met. You know, I don't know. We've got this phrase in it. I don't know if you've got something like this in the US, gents, but like we say, oh, you know, he could talk for Britain, or like he could talk for Britain is the phrase. Have you guys got something like that where it means like because you don't say he could talk for America? Do you? I've never heard that before.
The one that came to mind was Chatty Cathy is a phrase
Chatty
I've heard.
Cathy.
Chatty Cathy, yeah. Which I think is just
I've
like kind of the alliteration, but it's not even really because
it's not even
CH and the other
rhyme.
C sound, yeah.
Chatty Cathy. Okay, it kind of rhymes, yeah. But okay, anyways, but that kind of thing. So like,
That's
Carl
awesome.
is a Chatty Cathy.
No,
please do. Yeah, he could talk for Britain. But he's a lovely guy. So we're driving back. We're talking about Switchfoot and all sorts of dope stuff.
Nice.
Like the sunset in the sky was absolutely fantastic. I'll have to show you some videos, but it was you know these beautiful colors of kind of like a peach and orange and pink. There was like, oh man, it was amazing, and it just really felt, because I was exhausted by this point, so my head was spinning anyway. Fortunately, Carl was doing the driving like a legend that he is. Shout out to my main man Carl.
How long of a drive is that? Like where?
So we got quite lucky, to be fair, on the Sunday night, because I think this was the bank holiday weekend, so we had the Monday off.
Oh, so because we weren't coming back on the Sunday, from their holidays.
People weren't coming back.
Nice,
exactly.
Nice.
And so even other people who weren't at the festival, they weren't going to travel back until the Monday night.
Yeah.
So actually, it was a bit of a breeze. On the way there, on the Friday morning, that took like 3.5 hours maybe. I think on the way back it was only like 2.5. So
nice.
So it was we flew.
Let's go.
On the way back we're like, look, do we want to stop to like for food or like even go to the bathroom? And we're like, no, Carl, keep driving, keep your foot on the pedal,
on the gas,
son.
dude. Yeah.
Keep your foot on the gas. And so we just kept going. We powered through. So finished up around sort of like, I think it may have been like 8 o'clock. So then drive 2.5 hours, get back to work, because we have to drive to work first, get there at like 10:30. It was another 45-minute drive for me. So got back at sort of like 11:30 and crashed, and I slept so well that night. I haven't had a good sleep like that in a while. But honestly, it was great. It was so good. Just a massive highlight. And the whole time I'm like, God, thank you for this. Like, I'm so grateful. It was such a cool situation to be in. And I just wish that you'd been able to be there, man. I'd love to have that happen. But I don't know. I guess if you were there, like, I'd love to not be working as well, because then we could go around and like go to like the rave tent and stuff. And anyways, it'd be cool. But yes, so that was incredible. That was an incredible time.
Sick, dude. So proud of you, man.
Like, man,
that's awesome.
This is cool. This is cool. Like, go on.
Are those interviews available anywhere? Like, have they been filmed or recorded? Can we check them out?
Yes. So I think where they will be available is on the radio station website. So if you go to ucb.co.uk, or if you download the UCB Player app, which is called the UCB Player, if you download that, then you'll be able to hear the interviews there. And if I don't know, if I get anything, any links or anything, maybe we'll see if we can
throw them in the description or something. For sure.
In the description of the video.
They were just running the show. Like, you just took over and you hadn't prepared anything, but it felt like you had. So I want people to see that.
Great. I can't.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna try to find some links to that. What my final question for you though is there a video of you dancing with this guy who's teaching you dance moves?
I'm gonna have to wait and see, because I don't think for work, I don't think we have one.
Okay.
However,
maybe a phone
what
video
I'm really
or something.
wanting someone to do is to I'm really wanting someone to like tag Limo Blaze in it, and then hopefully I'll see it on his page, then maybe I'll be able to see it from there, and I don't know, I'll take the video. And again, if there is, then I'm definitely going to put that on my story if there's a video of us dancing, because I think that would be fantastic. But yeah, not for the moment, not from what I know of. But I will definitely keep you updated on that for sure.
If that does come out, we'll throw it on the shorts, and you can find it on our channel too. If there does indeed
no doubt.
some kind of cool like phone video from the crowd of Joel dancing with Limo Blaze.
Yeah, no doubt. That would be cool. But yeah, I don't know. It did feel like kind of like definitely a highlight of the year so far.
Nice,
and maybe like a highlight of the entire year.
I mean, it sounds like a career highlight for sure. Like, I mean, you're there, you're in a tent, live interviewing.
Be there.
I thought it was. Yeah. I mean, when I saw the photos and I was just imagining like what this was, because you told me a tiny bit about it, like, but
I didn't. I was
just kind of picturing you like what you described. Maybe you had done previously, where you kind of like you have like a backstage pass, and like you're kind of like after the show, like, hey man, quick interview. But it seems like you were like running the show and you had your own tent. Like that's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah. And
just
to be able to do it with work, and to be able to be like, there's already such a great setup, and I just felt like I could really bring what I can bring to the table. Do you know what I mean? I felt like I was like, I'm useful in the team here. Like I feel like I'm really I'm representing UCB well, I'm representing these artists well, and I'm representing myself well, which I just felt, I feel like I'm ticking a lot of the boxes here.
Man.
So yeah, it was sick, man. Yeah, no, we'll have to get you over for some point. For that rather, at some point in the future, because that'd be very, very cool. I'd love you to be able to like see me in that. I don't know, like in that headspace. That'd be pretty crazy. But yeah, I don't know, like if you've got any like I don't know, like your highlights of your year so far, then definitely chuck them in the comments of this video. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, man.
We are kind of getting the wheels back moving on the SpewnedIt Podcast. We are working on a lot of stuff at the moment, and like we said before, we're going to be getting that episode out for you in terms of when we were in the middle of Jensen's wedding and everything that was going on with that, which was an absolute dream. So we'll get those out to you soon. But until then, God bless from the SpewnedIt boys. We'll see you soon. Nice.